Hey everyone, my name is Candis Dyer and this is Canna Corner. We got an amazing show for y'all today. We got Courage in Cannabis crew here with us today. Ed Lena, Eartherly Mohammed, and Joe Brennan are going to be on with us. They are with Courage in Cannabis. They are two authors that have their stories in this book. And if y'all haven't seen one of our shows before with them, Courage in Cannabis is a series book. It's got a bunch of different cannabis stories in it. And Dr. Bridget is the one who has been putting this all together. She got a bunch of people that have a bunch of different cannabis stories, and she's combining them all in this Courage in Cannabis book. So y'all go check them out. They are on Facebook and they are on Instagram, courageincannabis.com. And we are going to get with them in just a second. First, I got to thank my sponsors, KM420 Radio. Definitely love all the stuff that they do for us. They replay our show on Sundays at 2, and then WJAE 420 Radio replays Canna Corner every Wednesday at 2. So much love and respect to the guys over there. And then also we got Go Green Botanicals. Ben Sanchez and Katrina, they're amazing people. They're out of New Braunfels. Y'all go check them out at gogreenbotanicals.com. And our newest one, Roach and Bud, you see over here, it's a cartoon on Instagram. Y'all go check him out. He's awesome. Troy's an amazing, amazing person. Hey, Brenda, nice to see you. We are going to get this show going. First, I wanted to tell everybody thank you for all the prayers from Farah. I'm really sad and upset. She is in the hospital. She's got diabetes, and she had blood poisoning and almost went into a diabetic coma. But I wanted to thank everybody for all y'all's prayers. She's looking up. She's telling everybody thank you for all the prayers. And hopefully she will be back with us soon. But just keep good vibes going out to her. Hey, Charlena. Awesome, y'all. So definitely sad about Farah. She's in the ICU, got a tube going up her nose and down her throat. God, they hurt so bad. I hate those things. And they are getting her back on track. She does have a blockage in her stomach, and they are trying to get that blockage out without surgery. So that's what we're praying right now, that she doesn't have to have surgery and then it just comes out. And I will be keeping y'all updated on my Candis Dyer page. Renee has been talking to her. I don't want to bombard her with calls. So Renee has been talking to her and keeping us updated. And then I have been updating y'all on what I hear. And then, so yes, she is doing better. Much love and respect to her. And without further ado, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and bring in Joe and Ed Lanita. I just got it right. Ed Lania Eartherly in. Hey, Brian, how are you doing?
Progress.
Awesome. Yes, y'all, we got them here. I'm going to go from the order I see y'all on my screen. Ed Lania Eartherly Mohammed.
Yes.
Love. I'm so glad I got that name right. I'm so bad with names.
That's okay. You did a great job with it.
I know you are one of the Courage in Cannabis authors, and I wanted to give you a minute just to kind of talk about the book and what got you started with Dr. Bridget.
Oh my goodness. Well, first, I just want to say the book is just absolutely phenomenal. So many amazing stories in there. I'm so glad that I'm doing this with Joe, because I really loved his story. There were a lot of similarities between, our stories, especially when it comes to just having our family members and healing. So that was just phenomenal. And to be able to share. And actually, Bridget and I went to high school together. And we went to an all-girls private high school. And so cannabis was not something that any of us would have like did.
Right.
And so to find out that now both of us are in this industry, we were both equally shocked about it. And we started talking about it, and she asked me if I would be interested in sharing my story through the book, because she knew about my story. And I was like, absolutely. It's amazing how much you can help people, and just learning from the other authors that were in the book. So it was just phenomenal, and I'm just so excited.
It's amazing. And it's so good to have, this is what I've been saying from the time. That's why meeting up with Dr. Bridget is just like a God thing, because Canna Corner, that's what we do. We bring stories to the public, because I really believe if we can get them kind of relating to like the different people, like some people have diabetes, some people have, and they have parents that have those different ailments. So until we can get them to relate to what we're trying to get done, and so that they can go and educate themselves on it, because we don't listen to us. Go look. There's scientific evidence everywhere. You just got to look. And so I think it's amazing what she's doing too. What is a little bit about, you want to tell us a little bit about the story that you have?
So yes, absolutely. So like I said, my background, I came from this, conservative Catholic upbringing, and, like this was just not something that we would do. And
That is.
Pardon?
The devil's lettuce.
Right, and I actually met a woman who was a nurse in church, and she had a dispensary, and we started talking, and she came and she educated me about cannabis and the benefits of it. And like my mind was absolutely blown just from that conversation with her, and with her taking the time out to just sit down and educate me on it, because I really was not educated. I was extremely clueless, never used it. It wasn't, I had friends that used it, but it just wasn't, it just wasn't my thing, And so then I started doing more research on it and found out just how amazing this plant is. Like it's flipping amazing. And the more research that I did, and then I started talking to my mother, who was Marlon. That's who our company is named after, Marlon's Miracles. And my mother was a registered nurse, and we started talking, and she reminded me of the Bible verse, Revelations 22:2, which is on our website, that says the leaves of the trees are for healing the nations. Yep. And so everything that we need to heal us and keep us healthy grows somewhere on this earth. Right. And the fact that we have an endocannabinoid system, just like you have a muscular system, a respiratory system, a nervous system, we have an endocannabinoid system. All mammals have this, and it works in direct correlation with this plant that has cannabinoids in it. Yes. So this plant literally was grown to help our bodies and to help us as mammals specifically. So it's like amazing how connected we are to our environment and to earth, and how everything that we need to be healthy and to stay healthy and to sustain us, it's right there. Right. It's right. And this plant has been doing so much for so many people. And somebody told me if it was discovered today, they would be like, oh my gosh, there's this miracle herb that's out that grew in somebody's backyard, and everybody would be fighting to try to take, to get it. And so really, I want to remove that negative connotation surrounding it, because that negative connotation or that stereotype is really causing some people to have a block between where they are and actually healing and being healed, and being able to experience life in a much fuller way. And so I really want to break that wall down so that people can get to where they want to get to, and then they can actually start to feel better, take control of their lives, not feel like they can't, that they have to succumb to whatever ailment is going on with them, or the side effects of the medicine, or the side effects for the side effects. And to the point that the treatment now is doing more damage than the actual condition that they have. And so whatever I can do to help people improve their lifestyle and their quality of life, I want that for people. So, and I don't want people to let ignorance get in their way.
Right. And I don't know if you know this, but I grew up in a Pentecostal church. I was baptized Catholic, but then I got into family preachers church.
Oh, you guys were more strict than we were.
Oh my God. And it's so hard, because my whole life I was told, you do this, you're going to hell. You are literally going to burn in fire if you do
Mhm.
this. And
Mm.
so, to break down that kind of wall, oh, it takes so much because you literally got to say, no, I've been lied to my whole life.
Yep.
I've been lied to. I'm not going to go to hell. God gave us this plant to help us, and it's helping me tremendously, and it's helping so many others. And you just want to scream it from the rooftops. But yeah, that wall, man, it's so hard to take that first step and go, shit, I was wrong. My mom was wrong. My dad was wrong. Everybody was wrong. And,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
you have to open your mind enough to go and just read about it.
Yes.
Read the stories. There's so many out there.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I tell people, don't take my word for it. Do your research. And a lot of times I'll direct them, here's this article, this peer-reviewed article, and here's this article from this doctor. And really now that people are starting to do that research on their own, they're starting to learn. And I've had a lot of people say, wait a minute, what? Like, wait a minute, this is not what I was told. This isn't,
Right.
and they start using the products and they're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Why didn't anybody tell me this when I was younger?
Right.
So I'm excited that we're in a time when we as a society are more open to natural alternatives for staying healthy. And there's nothing wrong with Western medicine. I believe you need that combination of both. I feel like this is more of an Eastern approach to help you with keeping your body healthy and stronger. But if you need a surgery, well, of course, we'll take the Western approach,
Exactly.
I think having that proper balance and that blend is really important.
Yes. I mean, if we can take less medicine and use cannabis, then that's a plus all the way around because we weren't wanting to get better. We're not wanting to be addicted to these pills for the rest of our life. And that's what's happening. I think the Oxycontin movement and the fact that the FDA lied about that kind of opened people up a little bit about, wait, maybe they're wrong about cannabis. And realizing it's all about greed, and that's the only reason it hasn't been given back to us is because greed.
Oh yeah, and I had a doctor say that people can, in the matter of a week to 2 weeks, can become addicted to a lot of the narcotics that are prescribed. And one of the amazing things about CBD, and let me just say, I'm not making any medical claims, so don't nobody come after
Right.
me. Throw that out there. I'm not a doctor, and I don't play one on TV either. But is the fact that using CBD products or cannabis products, and I believe in full spectrum, so all of the cannabinoids, the THC, like all of it works together, that when you use that in correlation with prescription painkillers that your doctor gives you, you actually end up using less. People have experienced using less of it, it being effective, not building up that tolerance, and not becoming addicted to those products. So now instead of that bottle that they gave you of 20 pills, some people might take 3 or 4 and they're done, they're good, and they're weaned. They don't cross over into their bodies becoming addicted to that. And so I actually had this little old lady come in because she had actually gone into the hospital because she had gotten poisoned from taking the pain medicine and become addicted to the pain medicine. And and she's like, oh my gosh, she's like, I'm so scared that this is going to happen again, and I know I need something to manage this pain. And now she's using cannabis products, and
that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I know that you have a business. You want to tell anybody about that really quick before we move on to Joe?
Absolutely. So we have a store called Marlin's Miracles, and Marlin is with an A. So it's MARLANS miracles.com. So if you want to come and see us. And we're more like CBD store. We've got several different products. We're rebranding, but we have our gummies, we have our tinctures, we have our facial care products. You would never believe I was 95, right? So we have our facial care.
You look good for 95. Are you kidding me?
We have our facial care products. We have our topicals, our massage oils. We have products that help with sexual dysfunction. So we have a variety of products that can help people in various different ways. We offer CBD coaching. We do CBD parties. We can do those virtually and in person, and they work similar to like a Tupperware party where you get educated, you get to try products, your hostess gets free gifts. So it's pretty, it's a pretty neat experience. But our thing is really about education. So when you come into our store, it looks like a living room, and people will come up to the counter. I'm like, no, let's sit down and let's talk. Let's educate you about this, because it's not just, oh, my friend tried these gummies, so do you have those? Let's really understand what's the best approach for whatever your goal is in mind.
Because everybody's different. Things work differently with some people, and it's a trial and error, just like the prescription drugs that the doctors give you. They're going to trial and error to see which one works good for you. This antidepressant may work better for you than this antidepressant. So it's kind of the same thing.
Exactly. And I mean, and I've been there when I first, started my whole cannabis journey. Using, actual marijuana was awesome. When I tried to use CBD, I was like, I tried it. My daughter, we were like, okay, this is not, all I'm doing is getting calories from these gummies. Like, this isn't doing anything. Not really understanding that, number one, just because something says CBD, all CBD isn't alike. Right. There's different, you have got your full spectrum, your broad spectrum, your isolate. How you use it makes a difference. The amount of milligrams that you're using, the time of day. I mean, there's so much involved in it. And if you don't have someone to educate you on that, you don't know. And so sometimes people are like, well, this didn't work for me.
Right.
And it may be that it didn't work, or it may be that you did not have the right guidance.
Or enough of it, or yeah.
Exactly. And I literally would take people by the hand, whether it's the products that they have or our products, and help navigate them through their CBD journey to help them get that relief or achieve whatever goal they're trying to use the products for.
That's awesome. And the patients are who we do this for. And so the fact that you sit down with them and really give them that, heart about it, because it's all about love. We want to help people. We want people to get better. And so that's awesome that you do that. Well, you can hang out for a little bit, because I want to talk to you a little bit more, y'all together. But I know Joe's been sitting there patiently waiting. Joe, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Doing great. I want to go ahead, and Joe is another amazing author with Courage in Cannabis. Joe, if you would like to talk to our audience, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started in the book.
Yeah, definitely. So going back to 2013, I lost my dad and my uncle back to back to chemotherapy and stuff like that. My dad was on prescription medicine for 15 years. He cut his arm, had a real bad injury. They put him on methadone. They put him on anitriptyline. They put him on Percocet, of course. And basically after 15 years, it shut his liver and his kidneys down. One day he woke up and gave me a call and said, Joe, I'm dying. So literally within 6 months, he passed away. My 20-year younger brother and I, at the time, my little brother was 13, and I basically had to make the choice to pull the plug on our dad in ICU because there was no liver transplants available. He was just pretty far gone. He was on dialysis with the kidneys. I mean, literally, when your liver shuts down, your whole body shuts down.
Wow.
So we literally pulled the plug and watched him pass right in front of our eyes, got the beep line and everything. And being our father, we thought he'd live forever. He was, you just don't ever expect your dad to die at 61 years old.
Right.
So basically that happened. And then 2 months later, his brother, my Uncle Tim, who was 53, by the way, got diagnosed with lung cancer and started taking the chemo pills. And I think it was the 6th round. The doctors even mentioned that this will probably be the round that does him in. I mean, who says that, first of all?
Wow.
But literally that night, he passed away from that pill. And so, I sat at his bedside and watched him pass away, and just remembering that just a couple months before this, he was a fully healthy person consoling me in the hospital in Kentucky about losing my father.
Right.
And so to see him, a 90-pound man, in his deathbed, literally, I just didn't know what was going on. And I always knew that pharmaceuticals were bad, but it hits home when it happens to your own family, right. Not just a TV thing or somebody else or some story you hear about. And so literally like a month or two after that, I was just flipping through the news, sitting at home, I'm devastated. And I was flipping through the TV and I saw this show of a little girl having a seizure and the mom putting something under their tongue. And I tried to go back and I found the station. And all of a sudden, it was just CBD, this compound from cannabis that does not get you high, but is stopping seizures dead in their tracks. The Charlotte Figge story,
Yes.
the Charlotte's Web story on CNN called Weed One. So I'm sitting there watching this, and I see this little girl come out of the seizure, and I just start, bawling like a little baby. Something just came over me and just said, you couldn't help your dad and your Uncle Tim with this, but you're going to go help the world starting right now. And I'm just like, okay. And I knew I just had this whole vision of cannabis getting redeemed as a plant, as a medicine, as a stereotype, as a stigma. I saw the entire vision just instantaneously. So I decided, I heard my dad's voice say, Joe, if you want to do something good in this life, go help somebody. That's what he always said to me. And I was just, okay. You never really listen to your parents until they're gone. I'll tell you that. So I just said, I'm going to do that. I'm going to put your words into practice. And so when I got my life insurance policy money from him, it wasn't very much, but it was enough to go out and buy some CBD. And I did. I bought some Plus CBD, and I went out and just literally, like, I gave it away to every old man, to every old lady in every parking lot, every gas station you could ever find. Little old ladies on walkers. I'd walk right up to them and say, are you in pain? Have you ever treated or heard CBD? Well, of course you haven't. It's 2014, 2013. Right. And so they would let me squirt a couple sprays under their tongue. Believe it or not, it was pre-COVID. No, everyone let me squirt this strange oil under their tongue. Nobody said no. And literally while I'm standing there talking to them, they would say, am I supposed to be feeling better already? And I'd say, well, yeah. But I didn't understand why. So that's what kind of spurred me on to go to the schools, get the accreditations, learn the endocannabinoid system, because otherwise I was just a snake oil salesman.
Right.
And because you can't say this one thing cures everything. I mean, how do you say that with a straight face and expect people to believe that? And so the discovery of the endocannabinoid system is what redeems all that.
Yep.
And so basically I started, so I gave all this CBD away, and people started calling me back saying, this is, I'm eating better, I'm sleeping better, my pain, all this different stuff. And so that's what led it on. So I started doing shows and festivals all over Ohio, ComFest, and anyone that would let me in. I was the first CBD vendor at the Arnold Classic. That was hard to get in there to let me do that. But, and everyone kind of looked at me like, oh, this guy's a pot dealer, and that it was at different times back in 2014 or actually that was 2017 actually. And so, but basically I was meeting all these old ladies in parking lots, Kroger and Giant Eagle, selling them CBD through their window. And they would always say, this feels like a drug deal. I wish you had a store. And I would agree with them. And so basically that's kind of what led me to open Columbus Botanical Depot back in 2016. I found a space that was willing to let me sell hemp products, which I couldn't believe was possible.
Right.
Which is in Clintonville, which is a really hip area in Columbus, Ohio, real progressive area with health and things like that. So it was the perfect fit. I mean, everything was God-led, basically. I mean, to how I found the store, to how everything went down. I mean, everything just laid itself out for me because I come from the real estate world. So before this, I was, working as a realtor for HER, flipping houses, had a lot of properties and stuff. And I just gave all that up to do this passion that I had found because I knew that I wanted to help somebody else because I couldn't help my family. And so I just went full into that and just gave all that up. But that whole real estate career gave me an ability to listen to people. And that's what you really have to do in this industry is not a one size fits all recommendation. You really have to listen to the person and then take all the information that you understand about the endocannabinoid system, about ECS tone, about what cannabinoids do what method of ingestion hits what receptor and what time frame and what duration. There's a lot that goes into this. And so that's why I love to hear these other authors that are just doing that exact thing. They're educating, their customers. And I just love to hear that because this industry has come such a long way. And I really think CBD has ushered that in because people are accepting of cannabis now, let's be honest, because of CBD.
Exactly.
And you cannot watch a little girl come out of a grandma seizure in 30 seconds and say that there is something wrong with this plant.
Exactly. No.
THC is one compound.
Right.
So you know, it's an absolute blessing to be doing this. And, you know, for me to be able to find my calling after losing the two pinnacles of my family, literally. And, you know, that was pretty rough. But now it's all redeemed. It's all being redeemed because all these people that are getting help from this, you know, I don't want to say makes it all worth it, but, you know, I'm sure they're looking down and saying, well, I'm glad that you turned the tragedy into triumph and, you know, did something with this and went out and helped somebody with it.
Definitely, definitely. I know my grandpa died of lung cancer and glaucoma, which are two of the things that, you know, it could have helped him. This could have helped him. And then my mom passed away of suicide. She was addicted to Oxycontin, hydrocodone, Xanax. They had her on that stuff to get off of it. That you just said a minute ago starts with an M. Methadone. Yes. It was just a fight she could not win. Like she was addicted and she needed it, and it was enough to where she ended her own life to get rid of it. And it sucks because to know your family, you know, this would have helped them so much. And you're right, it just lights a fire under your ass to say, well, they may have passed, but nobody else has to. We got to get up and fight and talk about it, because education, that's the key. We just got to open people's minds.
The discovery of the endocannabinoid system will save more lives than all of modern medicine and surgery combined.
Exactly.
Period. It will. It can and it will. It's already doing it. The train is already out of the station. You can't stop it. You know, it's harder to fool people nowadays. Everybody's skeptical about everything, so therefore everyone's going to anecdotal evidence.
Right.
We don't really care what the FDA, the Fraud and Deception Agency, has to say. We don't really care about, you know, because we acknowledge that we've been lied to by them for centuries. So, you know, I mean, go back, cannabis was 80% of the pharmacopoeia back in the 1800s, going all the way up until Big Pharma came in and stopped it.
Right.
Well, before all that with the DuPont guys and all that. But
and that's what people don't understand. It was in our diets, our daily diets. Right. And the best way I can explain the endocannabinoid system is like calcium, iron, all those things our body needs to function daily, we get from our food. But when they took cannabis out, endocannabinoids was something that our endocannabinoid system, it's a vitamin, y'all. And when you get that cannabinoid and it goes to that receptor, it's made for our bodies. It's supposed to be in our diets. But then when they took it out, it's like taking calcium out of or iron out of your diet. Your whole homeostasis starts going crazy, begging for that vitamin. And that's what our bodies are doing right now, because for years we had this, by whether digesting it or in whatever, you know, form they got it from, they were getting it. And then they got told, nope. And that kind of made everything go out of whack. That's the best way I can explain the endocannabinoid system for in layman's terms, why it works so well.
It's 100% true. It's a nutritional necessity that we need. You know, every cell has a cannabinoid receptor on it. We have 70 trillion cells. So we at least have 70 to 140 trillion cannabinoid receptors. Right. And we make these same molecules endogenously when we exercise. That's what runner's high is. When we sing, pray, and meditate, turns out, increases endocannabinoid tone by 42%. So when you're singing your favorite song and you're feeling that love in your heart and the cold chills you're getting, your endocannabinoid tone is spiking by 42%. Your body's producing anandamide big time, which is our body's own form of THC, which activates the CB1 receptor in the brain. And then when a woman's pregnant, she's producing tons of 2-AG, 2-arachidonoglycerol, which activates the CB2 receptor in the small intestine, where 80% of our immune function is. And that's what sets the baby's body up for life, is the endogenous cannabinoids from the mother go in and get the baby just high enough that to spark all the communication. Because what is high? It's neurogenesis. And when neurotransmitters are sending signals down a neurotransmitter and they're supposed to bridge across the synaptic gap, there just so happens to be a cannabinoid receptor on both sides of that. So when they're not active, signals are sent and they don't bridge across. Well, that's pain, that's MS, that's fiber, that's a lot of different central nervous system conditions. Well, as soon as you put cannabinoids under the tongue, they float down the bloodstream, bind to these receptors. Now the signal can bridge across, and the central nervous system doesn't have to send it 50,000 more times to try to, and that's the perception of
Right.
pain. So we are hardwired to ingest this plant. There's no way we can eat enough avocados while singing and praying, while on a treadmill, while being pregnant. It's to keep up with our endocannabinoid system. It's just never going to happen. And so when you look at this hard science on this, you realize that there's a phytocannabinoid out there that fits, the molecule fits perfectly into our endogenous cannabinoid system that basically promotes homeostasis, which is everything function as one.
That is
And
awesome.
the way I like to say it as like the metaphor is your ECS, your endocannabinoid system, is like your ECU of your car.
Right.
It controls everything. I mean, how does your braking system communicate with your cooling system, which communicates with your transmission system? You've got all these systems in a car, just like you have in the body.
Right.
And so what keeps them all in communication with each other? Well, the ECS, the ECU of your car. I guarantee you, if you take the ECU out of your car, it's not going anywhere.
Right.
If you become, as we become endocannabinoid deficient, which will be the cause of all disease in the future, when we are endocannabinoid deficient, we start to have miscommunication, which leads to disease. If I'm the immune system and you're the pancreas and I'm trying to call you for 20 years straight and you're never picking up the phone because the cannabinoids aren't activated, well, how are we communicating?
Exactly.
As soon as they're activated, you pick up the phone and go, hello? Oh, well, hello, immune system. We haven't spoken 40 years.
Right.
Well, we have autoimmune.
And then you
And
got
so-
that lady, am I supposed to feel better right away? Yeah, you are, because your body just went, whoa, I
Yep,
can
it's
work
like,
right now.
yep. Turn the circuit breaker on your cells and watch what happens.
Right.
Take CBD under the tongue or as a capsule form for 30 days and see what happens. I guarantee you, your endocannabinoid tone will change your physiology for the better.
Man, that's awesome. Do you have a business that you would like to tell people and how to get a hold of you? Or
Sure. Yeah, so Columbus Botanical Depot is the name of the store in Columbus, Ohio. The address is 14 West Pacemont. We do have a website. It's cbdhemphealth.com. We do free shipping to all 50 states. Here is the card. You can check it out. People can pause it or whatnot.
yeah,
cbdhemphealth.com. We do send free samples. We do phone consultations when people call and they have no idea what they want because we have over 900 SKUs. They say, I have no idea what I'm doing. And that's what we love, because then we can direct people through the navigation to figure out exactly what is the best suited product for them based off their individual needs. And so that's what we really love to do. And so we're here 7
that's
days
awesome.
a week, basically. Yeah.
I've learned so much from you, and I'm sure our listeners have too. Thank y'all so much for coming on. I wanted to give Ed Lania.
You're good at this, Candis. You got it.
Man, my anxiety just goes up when I look at your name. I'm like, I'm gonna mess it up, but
No, you're totally fine.
so I wanted to give you a chance to tell people how to get the book from you, each of you. I'm gonna go with you first, and then
Okay. No problem. So you can always visit us at CourageInCannabis.com and click on your favorite author to get the book. You can also contact each of us directly. So you can email me at care@marlansmiracles.com. And again, Marlan is spelled MARLANS miracles.com. You can email me, you can call me. Our number at our store, we have a toll-free number just to make it easier for everybody, because I know that a lot of people like that toll-free number. So I'll go ahead and give you the toll-free number is 888-660-0383. I'll do it again, 888-660-0383. And they can also visit our website, www.marlansmiracles.com. And of course, they can come into our store. I love that Joe gave the address. I'll throw it out there real quick. 967 West Huron Street, Waterford, Michigan, 48328. And we're right off of Telegraph and West Huron. So we try to be very accessible to people. You can text the number, like however you need to reach us. We really try to be accessible pretty much all day and halfway through the night. Because
Awesome.
we know that sometimes people have questions that it might be 10 o'clock in the evening, and they can text us and send us a question and we'll respond. And then also they can Google us and respond there as well.
Right. And us as educators, as activists, as store owners, as we can use this book to, don't take my word for it. Here, read about these people, or, and then us educating ourselves, learning about these different stories so that we can help others too. So this book would be great for any of that. And just
and then we're also on IG, on Instagram, Marlon's Miracles. We're on Twitter, Marlon's Miracles, and we're on Facebook, Marlon's Miracles. So
awesome.
You can find us through social media as well.
That's great. I want to extend an invitation. If you ever want to come on for any reason, just you and I do this all the time, and tell your full story, or just talk about your business or whatever. I've got an open invitation to all my guests. They can always come back and visit.
Oh, thank you. That's absolutely wonderful. We would love to do that.
Joe, how do people get your book?
Well, we sell it in our retail store, of course. We also sell it on the website, cbdhemphealth.com. Of course, you can go on the Courage in Cannabis website, like she was saying, and pick your favorite author and that kind of a thing. But yeah, I had kind of a cool idea the other day with the book, is putting them in those take one boxes that you find out there, with the take a book, leave a book thing. I thought that would be really cool to just kind of pop one in there, because cannabis has a way of, reaching people that you would never expect to be reached. It has its own kind of vibration that attracts the right, whatever you want to say with that. So I like to kind of put the books in places where you would least expect.
Yeah, at your doctor's office, on the table.
Yeah, well, that's a good one too, until they call you and say, yeah, we don't do that kind of medicine here,
Oh yeah, I've got told. I got popped for CBD, and the fact that they can tell it's CBD because it's not as high as a count as THC, which I was like, well, if you can tell it's CBD, why am I not allowed to take it? Like it's helping me. And he's like, nope, it's either that or your medicine. That's what these doctors are telling people, y'all. I mean, it's crazy that they're even allowed to keep going without studying this endocannabinoid system. That's a big part of what doctors need to know to help their patients. But it's like with doctors here. I'm in Texas though. So we're like, no weed at all except 0.3 TH, whatever.
But that's one of the amazing things about people call it Dr. Williams or Bridget, is that even given our background, when her patient started coming to her saying, hey, I want to try this and see if this is going to help me, instead of Bridget saying, oh my gosh, no, you can't do that, you have to do it this way, she listened to them and was like, okay, you know what, let me study this, let me learn, let me help you do this and so that you had that medical support, so we can kind of figure out what's going on. And the fact that she took on that role, that's the kind of doctor.
That's amazing.
That's what we need.
That is what we need. Exactly.
Even with my doctor, because I was on anxiety medicine, I was on controlled substances for my migraines. I was at 25 headache days a month. Wow. Like it was just crazy. And to actually have a doctor that said, okay, I don't know a whole lot about this, but I'll do what I can to support you through this process and to help you through this process. And we need more of that.
Yeah, they need to start listening to their patients. And I love that Dr. Bridget, and there are like Dr. Uma, she's amazing. There are those doctors out there that are breaking away, and man, it's federally legal. So you got to understand, these doctors are basically everything that they've fought for their whole life to get their doctor, MDA, everything. This is in it. They can get it taken away, like just by talking about it. So the fact that they're willing to be a martyr and step up and say, no, this is what's right. I'm gonna do what I said, which when I became a doctor is listen to my patients and help them. Not harm, do no harm.
Yep, the Hippocratic Oath says to do no harm. And to me, do no harm means let me listen, because maybe what I was taught might not be the current trend. It might not be the best information. When we look back at older versions of medical treatments, some of us sit back and think, oh my gosh, that was so cruel. I can't believe they did that back then.
Drilled holes in heads for headaches.
Lobotomies, like just all of that. And so when you start to go back and you start to look at how medicine has evolved, we know that where we are today, we're going to grow.
Yeah.
And so to just hold on to what you learned in the past as the absolute and it can't get better, really put you in a state where you're not growing anymore. And I think I want my doctors growing and learning and understanding current research and science. And it's science. It's proven documentation and studies that are out there that are showing, oh my gosh, you really need to take another look at this and not let your stereotype or your ignorance get in the way of you being able to be the best medical provider that you can be for your patients. I think they owe it to themselves and they owe it to their patients as well.
Exactly. Well, Joe, did you have anything? I think we're going to close here in a minute. I enjoyed y'all so much and I learned so much for you today. Thank you so much for coming on. I will send the link to y'all after the show so that you can have it. And I'll put it up on YouTube too. And I'll send you that link as well. So y'all have it. And I appreciate everything that y'all did and all the education and sharing your story. It's amazing to just step out and do that nowadays. So
yeah, definitely. Thanks for having us. It's been wonderful. You know, we live in an interesting time, but also it's a great time, especially for cannabis evolution and cannabis discovery and just everything that goes along with it, because it's going to uprival the entire system. And that's something that's a battle we don't have the weapons to fight really, because it's a huge battle. But what we can do is change the minds of individuals who we come encounter with. And, you know, just like this book and sharing stories and just all this kind of stuff. I mean, it really hits home. It's real. It's realer than it's a more real experience than you'll ever get in a doctor office.
Right.
And you're going there kind of just like a drone, kind of just a zombie. You show up, they write you the script, you walk away, you take it, you tell them the side effects, they give you more. And so the whole thing is, with cannabis medicine, you're taking your health into your own hands because you're educating yourself on your own body functions. I'll tell you, you learn the endocannabinoid system, you'll learn physiology pretty quick, because it's involved in every physiological process from conception till death. And that is a very true statement. There is endocannabinoid tone in an embryo, as well as endocannabinoid tone in a dying person. It's very low, but cannabis is literally the network communication of our entire physiology, the endocannabinoid system is. And so it's definitely going to save more lives than everything combined. And I'm just so happy to be a part of kind of the evolution with this, with this book here. This was the biggest blessing. I mean, I still can't get over this. I don't understand how it happened to me. Dr. Bridget is the best doctor on the face of the earth. She is like, just to be hailed, like she is great.
She is amazing, y'all.
You know, for her to be able to put all of our stories in a book here to be able to share with the world, she's outdone herself in life. So,
no, definitely. And I see so many of them. Like, it's amazing. At first I didn't understand the book. I was like, each person has their own book. And I was like, wait. And then I was like, no, okay, I see. It's a series. And it keeps growing, y'all. Like, is this the first series?
Yeah.
Okay. And so there's going to be more after this. And it's awesome what she's doing.
Yeah. It's just changing the game. We love her.
Heck yeah. Well, I am so excited to have y'all on. Thank you so much for coming on. And y'all have a wonderful night.
Thank you so much. We really enjoyed this opportunity. Thank you.
Anytime, love. Anytime.
Have a great night.
You too. Okay. Put in waiting room. Awesome, y'all. That was awesome. I learned so much. I hope y'all did. This is what this is all about. Canna Corner, y'all. When I was on the streets with the protests and everything, people would come and they'd be like, yes, I'm so glad to see you out here. Cannabis saved my life. Cannabis cured my cancer. Cannabis helped me get off anxiety meds. Cannabis helped my daughter not have seizures anymore. Cannabis helped my IBS stomach issues. Cannabis helped this. Cannabis helped that. And y'all, it helps so many things. And we've been lied to. We've been lied to. We've been told this is an evil plant that we shouldn't mess with. But you got to understand the powers that be, the evil people that seen that all their money from chemotherapy, the cancer that they make money off of trying to do that, all the money they're making from cotton things instead of hemp, all the money big pharma makes just to push all these natural meds into these pharmaceuticals that are hurting people more, when you can do it yourself with your garden and grow all kinds of plants that will help you, not just cannabis. And you just gotta get into that, y'all. Learn about it, learn about what can help you and safely without these side effects, y'all. I mean, I'm all for meds if you need them, but to be able to get off of some and not have to take as many of others, what more could you ask for? That's amazing. So you can find this show and all other past shows on our YouTube channel. We're trying to get that up. So please go subscribe and hit the bell. I will be uploading this episode up there as soon as I get off over here. And I had an amazing time, y'all. Please keep praying for my girl, Farah. We love you. We hope that you get better, love. Sending good vibes out your way. And yeah, so y'all have a wonderful day. I did want to talk about, before I get off here, a couple of events that are going to be going on. One of them being Consciousness and Psychedelic Conference, November 5th in Arlington, Texas, at the Arlington Music Hall, y'all. This is going to be amazing. Y'all have to go to this. Remember the 5th of November. Mark your calendars, y'all. Jess is an amazing person, and we're going to be up there with Roach and Bud. You'll be able to get your picture with Pothead and much, much more. Y'all learn about how psychedelics can help you as well. Now that we're starting to learn more about cannabis, we're moving into learning more about how psychedelics can help. And this conference is amazing for that. So if you are in the Arlington, Texas area in November on the 5th, come see us, come enjoy. And you can get your tickets online. I'm still encouraging cannabis. You can find Consciousness and Psychedelics Conference on Instagram and Facebook, ConsciousCon 2022, and you can get your tickets on there. It's a great day. They have a lot of vendors, a lot of amazing people. So you definitely want to be there. Also, the Texas Marijuana March and Freedom Festival is going to be October 8th, y'all. You don't want to miss this. If you are in the Fort Worth area, it's going to be at Burnett Park in Fort Worth. It's like a free day of guarantee you to smoke as long as you are being respectful and not get arrested for it. Literally, we all light up. We walk down to the courthouse at 4:20 and spark up. So that is a day and a time. The first time I went, it was like amazing to be able to feel how it would be for it to be legal and not have to be in fear of going to prison for 6 years. So yeah, definitely want to make that. Also, Pretty Rolls presents blunts and yoga, sound bath meditation. You can go to Pretty Rolls 420 on Instagram and find out more about that. They got food trucks and vendors and private massages, and it's just going to be a great time. Pretty Rolls will be on Canna Corner on Monday, the 12th of September. So they will be coming on to talk to you all about it. They have events all over, and it's called Blunts and Yoga. So hell yeah, that's a good event to go to. Thank you, Amanda. Hey, Laura. Hey, Brian. Hey, David. I hope y'all enjoyed the show. Thank you for watching. Please share. And I think that might be, let me make sure. Sorry, y'all. Oh yeah, we're doing our top 10 videos. The first one was a hit, y'all. Every, I believe Friday at 7 o'clock, we're going to be doing that. Brandy picks the indie artists in these music videos. We pick the top 10 and we play them every Friday. We got cut off on Facebook, so go like our YouTube channel at KM420 and check us out. You can find us on Mixler. We are a cannabis friendly radio station. We love indie artists. We love getting them heard and out there. And we, on Sundays, educate about cannabis. We have several different cannabis shows that get played on Sundays as well. So KM420 Radio, y'all, great, amazing crew of people. I'm so proud to be a part of it. And that would be it. That is the last event that I have for y'all. I hope to see y'all at the Psychedelic Conference and the DFW March. Peace.